Hey guys, really quickly, my Oregon offensive ebook is now available. So if you are interested in moving the ball more easily, throwing more touchdowns, scoring more points, check out the links in the description or the top pinned comment. I also have defense for those of you that need to improve your defense. This is not a team specific ebook, so no matter who you like to play as, I can help you improve your defense. Check out the links in the description or the top pinned comment as well. All right. Episode 2 of How to Throw the Deep Ball. We're going to go over cover 2. Let's first focus on the flat zone player. So I'm going to go ahead and hike the ball here, and we're going to take a look at the flat zone. So first off, let's discuss how do we know this is cover 2 zone. Well, there's two major tells. Number one, the cornerbacks right here are 5 yards off of the line of scrimmage. Okay. Unless your opponent is disguising their coverage, cover 2 zone is the only defense where corners are 5 yards off of the line of scrimmage. So that's the first major tell. If you see that, you can say that confidently. Again, unless your opponent is hiding their defense, you can pretty much say they are in cover 2 zone. And then the other tell is that there's two high safeties. One right, you can see them, right? I don't got to point them out. There's two high safeties. So you got the corners, 5 yards off, two high safeties. That's cover 2 zone. Now, if we want to throw the ball deep against cover 2 zone, we need to know where it's weak. And so the major weaknesses for cover 2 zone is this area here, behind the corner, but underneath the safety. This is called the hole shot. So this area here on each side of the field, and then it's obviously open in the middle of the field. The middle of the field is open. And so when we hike the ball against cover 2, I want you guys to pay close attention to this animation here. You see that turn and run? That turn and run is the only defense, or excuse me, it is the only safety zone that has this animation. So when you're reading defenses post snap, and you see a safety turn and run like this, that means they are in cover 2 zone. And that's significant to know because then you know what the weaknesses are going to be. You know where the weaknesses are going to be, which is going to be the middle of the field and then the hole shot potentially. But the reason why they turn and run is because they're running into their deep half responsibility. And we can see it happens on this side of the field as well. He's going to turn his back and run. That does not happen in any other zone where they do this animation, where they turn and run. All right. Okay, so now we have a pretty good understanding of what cover 2 zone looks like pre-snap. We understand what it looks like post-snap as well. If I hike the ball, they turn and run, we say, oh, that's cover 2 zone. Okay. Now let's focus on the flat players. So flat zones have 3 potential variations. Flat zones are the light blue zones that you see on the play call screen. So let me go to the play call screen. I'm just going to call verticals. And then if we go to cover 2, so those light blue zones that you see on the outsides, those are flat zones. And they have 3 variations. They're all the same color on the play call screen, but they all operate differently. And it's probably best if I flip sides and I play defense for you guys so we can take a look at how they play differently. And so I know this is all preamble and this is all information. It may be a little bit nerdy, but trust me, once you learn this stuff, then you'll be able to attack it deep. This is what the pros and the best players, this is what they all know that is going to that gives them an edge whenever they play someone. Okay, so let me pick Tampa 2, which is a basic cover 2. And then we're just going to go to, for the computer, we'll select some sort of verticals. All right, so there is you see the outside, the flat zones, there's a cloud flat responsibility, there's the hard flat responsibility, and then there is the soft squat responsibility. All the same color, all 5 yards off the line of scrimmage, but they all play a little bit differently, and knowing how they play is going to allow you to throw it deep over their heads. So let's start off with hard flat. Okay. I'm going to let the computer hike the ball. And we're going to take a look at how the hard flat played. So the hard flat player, he lets the defender just run past him. He's playing the flat, which is the area of the field he's guarding over here by the sidelines. He's playing it aggressively. There's no more aggressive zone to play the flats than the hard flat. So he's just going to let the defender run right by him. Boom. And he's going to just let the safety take him. He's not worried about the safety. He's worried about the flat. Or excuse me, he's not worried about the zone behind him. He's worried about the flat. That is a hard flat. And I think we can actually just take a look at the other side of the field. So let's take a look at this one more time. He lets him run by, hard flat. Okay. Let's contrast that with what's happening on the other side of the field. The other side of the field, we have a cloud flat. Look how the cloud flat plays differently. Jam, backtrack, but ultimately kind of lets him go. So he's not fully committed to the flat as the hard flat across the field. He's going to reroute, boom, get his hands on him. And then he's going to back up a little bit, but ultimately he lets him go. This is what a cloud flat does. All right. So it's 2 of the 3. We got the cloud flat. Cloud flat, the main thing is gets his hands on him, backs up a little bit, but he lets him run by. That's contrast that with the hard flat, no hands, just lets him go. Kind of got in his way there, which is unintentional, but there's no hands. He just lets him go. That's a hard flat. This side, puts his hands on him, backs up, then lets him go. Okay. And then the last thing we need to take a look at is the soft squat. And I'll let the computer hike the ball. Now, where the soft squat is different is that it is a matching zone. Okay. The soft squat will run with a vertical route. Excuse me. All right, so the soft squat will run with a vertical route like it does here. It matches it all the way up the field if there's nothing else attacking the flat. There's nothing attacking, its primary responsibility is the flat. If there's nothing else attacking the flat, it'll carry the vertical route. Okay. Now, a soft squat is meant to be sort of like a trap type defense, meaning it's supposed to make you think that it's going to play vertically when it's actually going to play underneath. And you'll most often see soft squats in cover 2 blitzes, right? So if I go to zone blitz 2 deep, I can pretty much guarantee the majority of these are going to be soft squats. Okay, so I'm going to select this here, and then this might be a pretty good example. All right, so you guys see on the right side we have a soft squat. Watch how it plays. Or excuse me, on the left side is the soft squat, but watch how it plays. It's going to pretend to go vertical, and well, okay, never mind. It didn't. The computer got out the ball way quicker than I expected, but I think we can learn from it anyway. So typically, and maybe with time it would have played this differently. It would go vertical, act like it's going vertical, but then crash back down to the flat here. But I guess it didn't need to, because this player ended up matching him. This player ended up matching the flat. Why did that happen? Oh, he's a vert hook. Vert hooks have matching principles as well. So they'll match something, and I don't quite know what they'll match, but let me put them on a hook curl instead. And maybe we'll get that soft squat to jump the zig route. All right, he tried to jump the zig route, but the player was in the way. But that's the example. That's kind of what I wanted you guys to see, is that before he carried it vertical because the vert hook matched the zig, but this time there's no one matching his primary responsibility is the flat. So he pretends like he's going vertical with the soft squat. He sees the zig attacking the flat. He tries to drive down on that. So that he bumped into him a little bit there, but he was going to jump that route. And that's what I mean when it's a trap coverage. They're trying to trick you. A soft squat is trying to trick you a lot of times. It's faking like it's going to play deep. You see the zig and you're like, oh, the zig's going to be open, and the soft squat jumps down and then tackles you and you're annoyed. Okay, so I'm going to flip sides again. So we now know the nuances of cover two. Okay, hard flat lets the wide receiver run by him. Cloud flat gets his hands on him. Soft squat runs with the route with no hands. All right. Stay with me now. We're almost done, because we've got through the hard part. Hard part's over, and now we're going to go into random cover two. And all right, this looks like freaking cover three, which is annoying, but all right. There still is something to learn from that, though. And that is, remember the animation that I taught you guys in regards to how the safeties move post snap. We'll take a look at how the safety moves. Even though this is a cover three shell, what do we see? He turns his back and he runs. And remember, cover two is the only animation where this happens. So when we see this animation, we know that this is not a cover three. This is a cover two, and the middle of the field is going to be open, and the sidelines are going to be open. The whole shot is going to be open. All right, classic cover two look. Let's look at the corners and see how they play. All right, lets them run right by. So what is that? It's a hard flat. If he lets them run right by, it's a hard flat. All right, let's see what happens this time. What was that? That was actually weird. I don't know. Because he ran with him a little bit and then he let him go. So it was probably a cloud. Because remember, Cloud gets his hands on him and they're supposed to just back up. But I think he got stuck in an animation there. So I don't want to put too much stock in that. I think he just got stuck in an animation as far as putting his hands on him. And that all was part of the animation. And then this is where the animation ends. And then he stays put. So I think that was a cloud flat just because he put his hands on him. Let's see what happens over here. Boom. Yep. They were cloud flats. Puts his hands on him. Lets him run by. It's a cloud flat. Okay. Let's take a look at this one on the corners. Cloud flat. Puts his hands on him. Let it run by. And we know it's not a soft squat because a soft squat doesn't put its hands on him. It just runs with the route. Again, left side there. Hard flat. Anytime they put their hands on the wide receiver, it's a cloud flat. I think I just said I said it wrong. Yeah, that was a cloud flat. Anytime they put their hands on the wide receiver, it's a cloud flat. This looks like cover three, but let's peep the safety and watch what he does. He's going to turn his back and run. Then we're like, oh shit, that is cover two. All right, a few more of these, and then we'll get into the bombs. Okay, it's just we need to do this repetition so we can understand how cover two works. Again, we're looking at the corners here. Let's see, lets them run by. That's a hard flat. Last one, hands, cloud flat. All right, boom. So let's go to the bombs now. Let's get to the fun part. So now we know how each one reacts. We can throw the streak against a hard flat or a cloud flat. We just need to know which zone it is so we recognize when to let go of the ball. If it's a cloud, we need to hold on to the ball just a little bit longer because we know the corner gets a little bit more depth and the reroute interrupts the timing. If it's a hard flat, we can let it rip right away. Cloud, give it a second. Boom. We knew it was a cloud because he got his hands on him. Cloud, give it a second. We know we just know he's just going to put his hands on him, but he's not going to run with it. All right, this is not what I want right now, so I'm just going to hike it and throw it out. We're just looking at classic cover 2 looks. All right, we're reading the corner. Cloud, he's not going to run with it all the way. He'll let it go eventually. Boom, we can throw it. Cloud again. Eventually, he'll abandon the route. We can throw it. Let me throw this out. Actually, we can probably read those because we're going to read the next one. All right. Cloud. So basically, what you should learn here is when you see a corner 5 yards off the line, you should be putting that wide receiver on a streak because you can likely beat it. If they're in a cloud or if they're in a flat, you can beat it. Another cloud. Remember, they're going to run with it for a little bit, but we know they're going to abandon the route. Damn, all I'm getting is clouds. No hard flats. Make one man miss, and it's a touchdown. All right, so this is a cover 3, right? We're going to, here, let me hike the ball. All right, so this is a cover 3. It looks like a cover 3. We hike the ball. We see this animation, turn and run. We know it's cover 2. We look at this guy. So we know he is in a flat zone. What does he do? He lets him run by. What lets him run by? Hard flat. We don't got to worry about him chasing him at all. He's just going to let him go. Boom. We hit him on the sideline. Again, let's just keep going. Hands. He's going to abandon the route. Boom. We let that go. And that's easy work. This looks different, so we're going to read this. Oh, that's a zone. He let him. Oh, wow. No, he ran too far out. That rotation was too far toward the sideline, so it wasn't open. Let's do this one. We're reading the middle of the field safety post snap. We see it's cover 2. Whoa. Sorry. I don't know what happened there, but that's why. So that's a good lesson, though. That's why sometimes I don't even know what's going on. So sometimes you just got to check it down, and that's why you have your check downs. All right, again, didn't work out in our favor, so let's check it down. That's why check downs exist. Those are your safety valves. Let's do one more. All right, he gets his hands on him. We know he's going to abandon him and just let him go. We make a man miss, and it's a touchdown. Unfortunately, we didn't get any hard flats for some reason. All we got, every single one, was clouds. But at least now you know what clouds look like. They're going to put their hands on them and, pretend drop back with it, but we know they're going to let it go. Now here we go. Now we got a couple hard flat examples, and he's just going to let them go. Boom. And we're just like, oh, okay. We'll just pass it in the whole shot. We'll pass it underneath the safety though, so I'm pass leading that down. He just lets that go. Boom. We can just let that rip right immediately. Whereas with the cloud flat, we had to wait for him to abandon the route. See what I mean? So again, all this to say, if you have corners that are 5 yards off the line of scrimmage, put that wide receiver over there on a streak and just know, hey, I can throw this streak regardless. Whether they're if they're in a soft squat, you can't really throw it because you don't know how the soft squat is going to react. So if they just turn and run with the route with no hands, you can't really throw it. So there's a hard flat example. He just lets them go. Let's do the soft squat here. I'm going to go to zone blitz too deep. Now, this is going to be no hands, and he's just going to run with it. See what I mean? So you can't really throw that. Thankfully, though, a lot of people don't really run soft squats, at least not online. Maybe I don't know what happens in offline dynasties, but you can't really throw the streak against soft squats because they run with the route. Now, what you could do if you're a savvy player is you can attack the flat. So let's say we put our number 2 on a flat and get him to abandon the. All right, he abandoned it, but even then it's still too late. So lesson here, just don't throw the streak against soft squats. Stick to your clouds, stick to your hard flats. All right, so that's how we attack the flats. Now let's go over how to attack the middle of the field. I'm running verticals. I mean, it's simple. Like, if the middle of the field is open, you throw it to the wide receiver in the middle of the field. This particular play, all go. He's going to, against cover 2, he's going to run that skinny post. So he's going to cut inside. The only thing is, and I've said this a million times before, you just need time to throw that. And I'm just not going to have the time in practice mode. I just never have the time in practice mode to do that. And he runs that skinny post deep. You can try to stem it down to get him into that post, into that cut faster, something like that. And the key there is to read the mid read, just because the mid read gets a lot of freaking depth, and it's so annoying the way the mid read plays. He just drops and drops and drops and drops and drops and drops. It's really annoying. But if you stem down that option route from your number 2, is that even moving down? I don't even think it's moving down. All right. Maybe you can throw that post a little sooner, but the mid reads are hard. Mid reads are confusing because sometimes they get a lot of depth, sometimes they don't. I would just stick to throwing against the flats, throwing my streak against the flats. And so that's out of like spread Y slot. That's the verticals play, but you can be in anything. You can be in a trips formation. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can be in trips, and if your opponent comes out in cover 2, you read it the same. Now the safety alignment is going to be different, so just know that. But we can still read the outside and say, all right, hands, cloud. We take a licking there, but we knew we could throw it. Hands, we know it's a cloud flat. Bam. We just need him to clear it. Hands, it's a cloud flat. Bam. And that second streak on the inside is pulling out. It's pulling that safety towards the middle of the field, which works in our favor. All right, hands, so it's a cloud flat. We just need him to clear him, abandon the route, and it's a touchdown. So it doesn't have to be like, you don't have to be in a 2x2, 3x1. You do need a wide receiver isolated against that corner on the outside. But any formation, that's going to work, right? You can come out in something like this, bunch strong, right? And we got the ISO. We got the ISO on the left side. We see he's 5 yards off the line of scrimmage. We like our chances that this is either a hard flat or a cloud of some kind, and we were freaking wrong. It was a soft squat, but we were able to recognize that. Why? Because he didn't let him run right by him. So we say, okay, so it's not a cloud. Excuse me, it's not a hard flat. And he didn't put his hands on him. So that's a soft squat. Can't throw the soft squat. We just check it down underneath. All right, so that's enough for this video. That's how to throw the deep ball against cover 2. It's attacking that flat on the outside. I'll see you guys in the next one. Hey guys, really quickly, my Oregon offensive ebook is now available. So if you are interested in moving the ball more easily, throwing more touchdowns, scoring more points, check out the links in the description or the top pinned comment. I also have defense for those of you that need to improve your defense. This is not a team specific ebook, so no matter who you like to play as, I can help you improve your defense. Check out the links in the description or the top pinned comment as well.